Alrighty, here we go. Today's the day of color. I'm going to go ahead and put some epoxy on the wheels first. We did not prime the wheels. We're not going to sand them after we epoxy them. We're just going to paint them. And the reason being is there's not going to be enough paint shown on the wheels to go through that much work, I feel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to epoxy the front and backs of these wheels. We'll let them dry. We'll probably go outside and show you what I'm going to do to the 40 when the weather gets a little bit better. That'll give us 10 or 15 minutes to let that dry, and then we'll reveal the color and paint the wheels. I just want a thin coat on the back. Using the small gun again because just a small job. What's going on right now, I'm just going to epoxy the back. And what we're epoxying them for is because we don't want to paint bare metal, but yet we don't want to prime them, we don't want to sand them. Just want to put a little more epoxy on that one. Now we did a little video earlier, and we seam sealed in around where the center is welded in the wheel. We seam sealed that, took away the gap so it looks better. And that's what we did it for, so it looks better. Also, when they're painted, cap, ring, and you know just as well as I do, you sandblast a set of wheels, or you paint a set of wheels, and then the rust can crawl out in between. We don't want that.
That's good. Just got to put a little bit more on. I got a little bit left. I was using it sparingly, but I got a little bit left, so I'm going to put it on. Probably wished I would have put more on the back side now, but nope. I'm going to go with that.
I had a little bit left, and I probably wished I would have used it on the back side, but I did not. But there's not very much, nothing to cry over there, is there? There's a little bit left in there. I could have used it on the back side, but I didn't want to use it all up, not have enough for the front side, and I did not want to mix too much up. So that's why it went the way it did. Just going to go in there and put some thinner in the gun, get the gun cleaned out a little bit, because this is the gun we're going to use to paint with. What time is it, sweetheart? Do you know, Ralph? No. Jolene will let us know what time it is, so.
Come on, Moss. Need the cover. I like using the little gun for a small job. Just seems to be more, what? More practical, I guess. You gotta be careful when you put the end over the gun, it can spray out on you. What happened? Probably could have picked a better rag.
Probably could have used a better rag. That's the way it goes. Just gonna wipe my hands off. So what we got is we got the epoxy on the wheels, and the reason I say like I'm doing the epoxy thing is because I do not want to sand the wheels. I didn't want to prime them in sand. It just seems like a lot of wasted man hours. That's what it seems like, a lot of wasted man hours. We could have done that. Yes, we most certainly could have, but not what I wanted to do. So we'll wait a little bit. I'm not sure what the waiting time is on that. It would say right on the can what the waiting time is. Jolene would be the one to read that. You want to read the waiting time if you can? Should say how long we have somewhere. So we seam sealed the seam in the wheels. I find it always just does a little better job. That's what it does, a little better job. And we'll get ready to get some Jolene's color on here in a bit. Does it say? You didn't see anything? I can't see anything either. It's smelly though, isn't it? Well, I'm saying we're going to give at least 15 minutes. At least 15 minutes, because I've actually painted it probably 15 minutes. And it's a sealer, so you wait a little while. We'll wait, see it flash off, and then we'll go for it. We should be able to tell if it's flashed off now. It's still wet, so we'll leave it. You want to take a walk outside for a minute? You want to take your mask off, or you want to leave it on? Just going to take a walk outside for a minute. We're just going to show what we're going to do the 40, why that flash is off. It's raining out right now. Basically what's going to happen is I'm going to try to get Jolene's chassis ready. I'm going to get Jolene's chassis ready, and then we'll pull it in the paint room. We'll have to do a few things to it. Some work has to be done to the body of it. But basically, I just want to take a walk out to the 40. And I'm just going to do, take a week and chop that to make myself happy, to do something different. I'm just going to come over this way so it's a little less. We've got a little bit of snow in front of this. We're going to get it dug. When we get it dug out, then we'll pull the 40 in. We've got a couple projects out here. This 40's not too bad. Like it's got some pretty good sheet metal. Like the fenders are good. The back fender, we got one brand new back fender for it. The hood is in really good shape. The bottom of the doors need a bit of work. But basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and make it into a 3-window coupe. And I'm going to explain it to you right as I'm standing here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come in, I'm going to cut the roof off. I'll cut it off, find a place where I want to cut it off. I'm not sure where I'm going to cut this second. But basically when you cut a roof off, you want to go in the straightest part. So when it comes back together, you got the 2 angles to go. You wouldn't want to cut it down here and then cut it here. You want to cut it in the straightest part, I would say. I'm going to come across here and cut this off. I'm going to cut it off here. I know that for sure. I'm going to cut this off here. And I'm going to come around here and I'm going to cut this underneath this roll here. I'm going to come right around here and cut it off behind that back window. And I'm going to pull the roof off. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the back window and I'm going to pull this all the way up so I get this piece here right up to here. I'm going to use that there, right there. And I'm going to use this piece here to go to the front. And whatever I do not have to use, I'm going to use the top of the door. So I'll take and cut this out, cut this off here, around the back of the window. I'm going to pull the back of the window all the way up. So this right here is going to sit here, and then the back window will be back here. I'm going to use this for the round part because the 3-window usually has the round part that goes like that. That'll be that. And whatever I do not have enough of this to get to the front, I'll use the top of the door and weld it to that. So basically what's going to go on is this top of this door is going to be gone because I'm going to use that. I'll probably end up having to square tube or square stock and make the top of the doors. You know how you see this, just like Elvis, but I'll make it round and make that section out of square stock so the window can go up inside the square stock. This round part is a part of the car and it's going to stay a part of the car. When this moves ahead and goes forward, I'll have to lay the trunk lid down. So what I'll do is I'll come in here when I cut this all off, when I come in here and cut this off here, I'm going to take and cut right in here. I'll take and pie shape it, take a piece out of here. Oh, sorry, sweetheart. There's the brand new fender for the back of it right there. I'll take and cut it here somewhere, and I'll pie shape it, and I'll lay the trunk lid down. And then we'll fill in the back. So this will come down, this trunk lid will come down. We'll take and cut it here, pie cut it, bring it down, and then we'll fill in the back all the way up until the back of the roof will be right about there. So we'll have this will be the roof around here, and then we'll fill that piece in the back. We'll probably lay a piece of square stock or a piece of exhaust molding across the back, so the back window section can sit on top of that. And basically that's what I'm going to do. So we'll see how it goes. Going to take a 2-door and make it into a 3-window coupe. See what happens. Sounds like fun to me. And I've got another one back here that's sitting there that was given to us by Neil. If there's any problems, if we don't like the roof or whatever, if we don't like something, there's another one right there because that one has the roof where it tucks down a little quicker than the 2-door. But we'll see what happens. We can move it around. It's called Play-Doh. Do whatever you like. And that's what I'm going to do to try to make us happy. But we got a bit of snow right now. And what I'll do is I'll bring it in, chop it, and play with it, and then throw it back outdoors. that'll be the end of it. Just like that one. And when you feel like working on it, you bring it back in, you play with it. It's looking good sitting out in the weather. Isn't it, baby? Huh? Looking good. All the lines are getting rusty, kind of giving that patina look. But there it sets. And we got a Jaguar over there we can cut, just for fun. But I'd like to do that because I know that a lot of people would rather have a coupe than a two-door. And if I can make that into a coupe in a couple days, that's what I plan on doing. Hopefully I can just use the metal that we have. This is another good roof right here. This one cuts down quicker and has less in here than the 40 out there. I'm pretty sure. But it's not as good around the drip rail moldings, but we'll see what happens. What's that, sweetheart?
It's been 13 minutes.
Can't hear you.
It's been 13 minutes.
13 minutes? Jolene says it's been 13 minutes. Well, we'll take a look at it and see if it's flashed off or not. It's still wet looking. It's still wet looking. Looks good though. All looks good. We'll flop them over when it gets a little bit drier. This is another thing we've come into. Me and Jolene have got the front brakes for the car. This is something that we've got going on. So we'll do this while we're waiting for the paint. We've got the front brakes. I've kind of assembled everything on this, on the instructions. My instructions are always the pictures. But as I'm going through this, I see that the rack and pinion arm is right there. The rotor is on the back side of that. Now see, I must have flopped these around because I did not want the rack and pinion in the front. I don't generally like the rack and pinion in the front, especially when I was building it. It didn't look good. I didn't like the looks of everything out front of the car. It was hard to hide. I didn't want anything out in front of the sheet metal. Didn't have anything, and this is what I'm using at the present moment, but I must have took the spindles and turned them around. I'm not sure. But as I have that, now my brakes are going on like my caliper's going to be in the front, which I have no problem with. No, that's supposed to go like that. The caliper's going to be in the front. So that's going on like that. The caliper's going to be up front. Just like so. And I don't think it hurts anything. I think it's just in preference, I guess, what you're looking for, and all we're looking for is brakes. But that's what's going to go on there. Also, we ordered a bottom ball joint. We sent for our Napa store had the top ones. We had to modify them a little bit. Okay, this is the bottom ball joint for a 65. This is a bottom ball joint, and we sent for the exact same thing. That's what we sent. That was the picture. That's what it showed. It said an arm was coming with it. That's fine. This is what we received. If I had known way back then, I would have bought brand new arms for it. I would have. Instead of sandblasting them, clean them all off. But that's what I had. It was out in the pile out there. That's what I used. That's what I was going for. But we were able to buy this. They give us the whole arm with the ball joint complete. Now what we have is a ball joint and an arm, which I am not going to disturb what we got going on there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take and cut. You can see what's going on here. That piece right there, that's a pattern. I may take and cut this out bolt it up from the underside and make a ball joint out of what they got going on here. We've got a grease fitting for the underneath of it. So I think we bought the premium ones, did we not? We bought the best ones we could. But it is not what we sent for. It's not what the picture said. But that's okay, because we will take and have to modify it. We will take and cut this shape out, because it's exact same. We can make the exact same shape out of that. It's right there. We'll take and cut this here and make that shape. And then we'll drill our holes in it like they have it. Bonk, bonk, bonk. We'll drill our holes in it, and then we'll mount it up underneath like they had it. So this was mounted up underneath of that like that. And that's where the 3 holes that bolted in there, the rivets. And that was in there for strength, I'm saying. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut that and make that shape and bolt that up inside there, which I think will work perfect. It's just a matter of cutting something like that. How do you make something like that for $20-some? How do you get the metal and put the ball joint in it for $20-some? I don't understand. Not that I need to understand, but I'm not sure how that happens. This is very nice. Like, I wish that we would have bought new and then made the arm, bought the arms new and had it all new. Did not happen that way. We were just going to put ball joints in it, but that's what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to modify that and make that work. I'm going to cut that and make that and then bolt it up underneath like they did, basically. Just don't understand how you make that for that much money. Not sure. We still got a little wetness going on. We're just going to let it set for a little bit longer. I can go shake some paint. That's what I can do. Shake some paint. So I got, the brakes are going to go on fairly easy. I got that figured out. Got the brakes figured out. The ball joint, I'm pretty sure I have that figured out. And that ball joint thing, I guess it's where I'm not going to let it stop me. It's not exactly what it's supposed to be, but I'm not going to let it stop me, because why would I? And I'm just going to take it and go with it and say thank you very much, because we didn't have it. So now we're going to have to modify it, and that's okay. That's just called using your brain. I'm going to have to use my brain to do the same thing. It's quite a chunk of metal what the original one was, so we'll just do the same with that one. And if we need another ball joint, which I don't know if Joey's going to run the ball joints out of it or not, but we would just buy another arm and cut it again and replace it that way. That's basically what I see going on. I'm going to use a new cup. I'm going to throw that one to a side. I'm going to put Jolene's paint in the shaker. So I guess when it comes to, everybody has guessed, but you'll know the color when it happens. Basically what's going to go on is we'll do the exact same thing as we've done before. Whoever wins the comment wins the deal. Wins the piece of wood. What's going on here? Jeff messaged us yesterday, and these are, what is it?
10 layers of lamination.
This is 10 layers of lamination. This is not just a piece of mahogany cut and shaped. No, it's not. It's 10 pieces of lamination of mahogany. So there's quite a bit going on there for them little pieces. Not just a piece of mahogany you cut out and said, here you go. No, it's 10 pieces of mahogany that are laminated together, and each piece shows or is a bunch of work. Each piece is a bunch of work. So we're going to give away one of these today, and maybe a hat and shirt to go with it. But pretty cool. If you want a piece of that Bugatti, that is the wood that was used in it, that was left over. He cut pieces out of it and made that with it. That's what he did. So we've got, I have a few things, I got a little bit of work to cut that and make that. The brake calipers are going on the front. I don't think it matters much. And if it does, oh well. I don't think it matters much. Other than that, we're painting wheel color today. So after I'm done painting the wheel color, basically what I'm going to do is I'll probably just, let the fumes roll out Then I'll come in here and I might set up some of the brakes. Jolene has did a little bit of film work for Facebook this morning, doing the seam sealer around the wheels where you can tell already, if you take a look right this way, you can tell already where the seam is on that and how much better that looks with the seam closed in. Looks much better than having that seam there. And when I was doing it, you could see the rust starting, wanting to climb out of it. You could see where the two pieces of metal are together, where it's climbing out. So you just take a rag, or I just took it wasn't that easy actually. Just put a little seam sealer, take a little thinner and put it on your finger and rub it around. Somebody suggested using soapy water be the same thing. Yes, you could, soapy water, but basically you could do that. And I'm hoping, so we'll get the chassis together. I'm just kind of playing it all in my head. We have to detail the engine. This is what I'm thinking for the engine. I think we're going to cast iron it just like this. I think it's going to look better than the fake silver and the black. We're going to cast iron it. We're going to get rid of the gold up through the middle. We have to find a couple chrome washers we have to take the bolts off and retorque that down, because we don't want that like that. It's in the wrong spot. It's supposed to be over there somewhere. We're going to take this piece off because we're not using the breather piece. We'll take our time taking them off and do one at a time. We got a few things to pull off, but I think we're going to take the headers off. We got a broken piece in the side of the header here. We don't want that, and they're quite pitted. Jolene has ordered some stainless steel headers for it, but I think we're going to go with a cast iron look, cast iron transmission, cast iron motor. We'll clean up most of the stainless that looks nice on it. The valve pan covers we're going to try to take. We're either going to shave the fins off, or we're going to lay a piece of aluminum on top of it with that seagull look or whatever it is. That's what I plan on doing, taking them off and doing something with that to make them look more like the Bugatti. Let's face it, it's not a Bugatti engine, but we're going to try to make it look the best we can. And what we're going to do is we'll do the cast iron in the black. I think it'll look much nicer. Jolene has some interior down the house. You should have almost had that. But that's okay. That's okay. Let's put that on a little more shake. Let's go over and flip the wheels over. When you start getting to this stage of the car, everything is just, it seems to slow down, is what it does. It seems to slow down. Yeah, it's good. Good. Yeah. I don't want to hit it too quick, is what I don't want to hit it. Just touch the tape. It's dry. So we'll go the back side first. Backside first. It was one roll of tape to do the wheels. One roll of tape, so that's not bad. Didn't mind that. We heard the playing card trick, but where we're flopping them over and doing that sort of stuff, painting both sides at once. We didn't want the cards to fall out, and that's generally not how we do it anyways. Good. Get some paint rolling. We'll do. Not sure how many coats we'll do in the back. Until it covers and makes it look nice. 1 or 2, 3, probably a couple would be fine. We'll make it covered, and then the front is what we really want to make sure that we get well, and we'll go from there. The back is ready to paint, so we'll mix our paint now. Four, 2, 1 is our mixture. We have it on our can. 421. I guess we don't. That's okay though, because I can mix 421. Put on my glasses so I can see. This is when things start looking good, is when you start getting all the different colors on there. Jolene was going to bring the interior up, but we can explain it after. Can we not? Where's it at? We can show it tomorrow with the... Yeah. Yep, sure. You want me to show the color now? That's her color. She has a ostrich tan for... I'm going to go... How much paint am I going to use? I'll go 5. Just for now. And we got one hardener. And we got 2 reducer. So we're going to 6. I went a little over, it doesn't matter. Not to me. And I always like to pick the stick up, see what can I say? How runny it is. Nice and runny. I like it thin. This is urethane, like an ivory white, I guess you would call it. Then she has a light, is it tan? A light tan ostrich, so it's the interior's a little lighter than that, with little dark flecks of ostrich skin in it. And then I guess on the carpet she wants maybe a caramel carpet, so it's going to be 3 different tones of white. Would it be three different tones of beige, maybe, or an off-white? So yeah, that your carpet, you want something like that, would you not? Something like that, some caramel, whatever, and then a light tan ostrich with the ivory white. Basically, what's going on? That's the plan. And when it comes to the underneath of it, it's the satin black of the rock guard. We might make panels. We might make panels for the underneath of it, and put a little off-white underneath of it with louvers in it. We might. Not sure yet. It's a lot more work, but we might. We'll see. And those who guessed the color right, congratulations. And for whoever wins tonight, congratulations, because you're going to get a hat and a t-shirt, or hat or a t-shirt, and a piece of wood from Jolene's car. And the wood was done by Jeff Webster. He done an amazing job on it. And that's all I can say from there. If you go on to Bugatti, the wood that he made for Jolene's car is on the top of the interior. Jolene's not talking that much. You got a big mask on. First time we're getting some color on Jolene's cars. It's going to be fun. I might have mixed way too much paint. I'm not sure. That's sin, but sometimes it happens. The only downfall of these guns is the cover. That's the only downfall I find of these things is the cover. So we'll get the chassis looking good, get the wheels painted, get the chassis put together, get the engine detail and get that slid in there. Maybe we can get that chop of 40 and have a little bit of fun. A little bit of, what do you call that? Metal fabrication. A little bit of metal fabrication.
Which is always fun. That looks nice. I like it. First coat, but it looks good. Putting lots on, see if I can get it covered in 2 coats. A beautiful car for a beautiful lady. Whoop whoop. Gonna look nice. Beautiful. Paint going out there at all? Is paint going out there at all? Good. Gorgeous, I say, gorgeous. Love it. I love it. Love it.
That's going to look some nice against that black chassis. Not bad over here. See any paint over here?
You want to cover that up?
You can see a little bit fog. Don't get you a little bit.
Couldn't get any more dust on it.
That'll blow off.
We'll probably be able to get away with 2 coats on the back and 3 on the front. See what happens. Stop it.
That's coat number 1. We'll probably end up doing 2 on the back and then do 3 on the front. That's probably what's going to happen. We'll let that set for a minute. Putting the fan on sure does suck the heat out of the shop, doesn't it? So we have the directions here. Seems pretty basic. I have shows on the directions here on this thing here. Seems pretty basic. I'll lay them right in front of me. Just so it looks like we got this piece here. This piece here goes on first, like so. If I go to put it on this side, if I turn around and go like that, it hits the arm for the rack and pinion, so it can't go that way. So it got to go that way. Then we got seal, and then we have the dust plate, and then we got the bearings. The bearings are right in there, and then it's the bearing that goes in the back of the rotor. Rotor's right there. So the big bearing in the back first, and then the little bearing. We'll have to grease those, and then we'll slide it on, put our washer, and put our bolt on. Caliper will be bolted to our bracket. Brake pads and anti-rattle or hold the brake pads in. Seems pretty good. Seems pretty basic. It's going to be quite a job to cut. Well, it's not going to be quite a job. I'm just going to take a zip cut it, make a paper pattern of all the holes, lay it on top of that, cut the holes, and bolt it up underneath there and do that. So there's there's probably a couple hours doing that. So that's what's going to happen there. I can't smell the paint standing right here. I can't smell the paint. I got no mask on. I can't smell the paint, so we should be good. We're fine. Jolene will take a walk in around them. That white's going to look so nice with the black. Wow. Whoop, whoop. I don't want to get reckless and start going too fast, because you know what will happen. We'll have a bunch of runs in the wheels. Don't want a bunch of runs in the wheels. Do the exact same process as we did before, is to make sure it's dry before we start. Also, mixing a little more reducer in it, I find it dries a little quicker.
Still wet. Leave it be.
It's a hard thing to watch paint dry. I know all about it. But that's what has to happen sometimes, isn't it, baby? Watch paint dry. The other side will be the side to watch. Will be the nice side to watch. Basically can't do anything other than that, can I? Huh? Do you want me to run down and grab the interior? What's that?
We'll wait till tomorrow.
Wait till tomorrow? Just going to wait for a bit. Basically what I'm going to do, just wait for a bit, stand still. It's a hard thing to do, is wait for paint to dry, but that's what's got to go on. So we'll do the basic thing on these hubcaps. The off-white that Jolene's using will be in here. I said it before, will be in there. And then it'll be out here. And then we'll have the trim ring, this ring, and that ring, and so forth. And I think it'll look amazing. We're going to use I think I said it before, we're doing an I Did It steering column in Jolene's car, the exact same steering column that we used in Elvis. But this one has the top that pulls the wheel right off, so you can pull the wheel off to get in the car. That'll be a good thing. We got the airbags ready to rock and roll. They're ready to put on. That's a good thing. Got all the grates ready for the side of the hood. Them are all cut and ready to rock and roll. That's another good thing. Look, there's your color right there. What's that? You're dry? Cool. It's going to look so nice against that black chassis. Beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. I think I'll use that white on Elvis. For the Thunderbolt or something like that, maybe. We'll see. You know what we forgot to do? We forgot to do it the last few times. We're on air. I'm wondering if everything's fine. It's getting close. Getting close. couple more minutes. I make you happy? So there's some work to do on those things, but we'll make them work. We'll make them work. Hoping for the rain to take away some of the snow, so we'll be able to get the 40 in. I just want to play with that, you know, just something to do, change it up a little bit. Like doing this full time, the small stuff, detail stuff, it gets to you after a while. I like chopping things apart. We'll make it look like something, then throw it back outdoors, and then I can dream about it. Just like the little Chevy sitting there. It looks good sitting there the way it was. It was sitting over there in the bushes, looking like a piece of crap, wasn't it? And we bring it in, spent a couple weeks on it. Now it looks like something that we'd really like to work on. We have a few of those projects around. You just keep them around to keep yourself inspired to build something, make something. It's hard for me to stay in one spot. That's what it is. It's hard for me to stay in one spot. I'm going back and spray some more paint. That's why I like to do mini projects, because I have many ideas. That's basically it.
I'm saying that's covered good enough for the backside. Good thing about this is, as soon as we get the 2 coats on the back side, we'll flop them right over and do the front. And they're covering up nice, so I'm happy with that. You know, the paint's covering nice. Sometimes the paint don't cover so well. Sometimes you have to, when you seal something, it's good to seal it off with the right value shade. Looks good to me. Good. Beautiful. I'm saying that's enough for the back. Looks good. We'll flop them over and we'll put a little paint on the front. We'll do it while they're wet. Excuse me, sweetheart. Watch yourself.
And Jolene looks amazing today.
Did you want to look around them first? You want to... Beautiful. Let's do it. might have mixed up just the right amount. Hard wheel to paint with that tucked in there like that. Beautiful. Probably only need 2 coats on the front wheels too, the way they covered. Covered some nice. Nice. Probably have to mix up a little tiny bit more paint.
Probably a little bit more, but I'm thinking that 2 coats on the front is going to be fine. Overloading something with paint doesn't make sense to me, as long as it's covered and it's shiny. It's basically where it's at for me. Once you chip it, doesn't matter if it's 2 coats or 3 coats, it's chipped, basically. Another coat of paint doesn't stop it from chipping, but it's looking good. You can see how much time, I think that's why epoxy was invented. You can see how much time was saved epoxying it to seal it and then paint it. How much time you saved if we took the feather fill, primed the wheels, and sat down and sanded them, how long it would have taken us to get that done. Where the wheels were in such good shape, that's what we were able to do. We were just able to epoxy them and paint them. And that's where that stuff comes in handy for doing work on some things, not on all things, it's just some things. But on those wheels where they're in such good shape, that's where that come in handy, and it helped out a lot. Because there's a lot of work. You know, you take those wheels and prime them, let them set for a day. The primers, you know, you put a half a gallon on, so there we'll say $100. You put $100 on them. You sand them. Take you half the day or the day to get them sanded, get it ready, clean them all off. You know, you saved yourself hundreds of dollars by epoxy sealing them, waiting half hour, 20 minutes, and painting them. You saved yourself hundreds of dollars. And basically, we're going to get the exact same product, I would say. We're going to get the exact same product with less material, less time, and it'll look just as nice. And I'm thinking that 2 coats on those wheels is going to do it, because the color of the gray epoxy and the white is covering super nice. It's covering super nice. What I'll do is when I go in next time, I'll fill the gun full with what's left in there, and then I'll just mix up a little bit for a gun load more, and then we should have enough paint, and we will not waste. What do you think, sweetheart? Going good? You like the color? Good. Just checking to see if any dust has fallen. I don't think so. It's all good. It's all good. Did you get in around the edge? Show what the edge looks like, where the seam sealer's at? Try not to get your camera right over top of the wheels, but you sure can see the difference where the wheel comes together, how nice that looks compared to having that seam there. If you had that seam there, it would not look as good. Just that little touch, that little added touch. And it's a hard wheel to paint because the center's raised out so far and you got to get down in there. It's a hard wheel to paint. The little gun is perfect. The little gun is perfect. I'm spraying it. I'm just hooking the gun up to the air hose, and whatever that gun can handle is what I'm pushing out. Not quite sure even what the pressure is, but as soon as the pattern becomes dysfunctional, I turn it back until it's so the gun can handle it. That's basically about it. On this engine here, Jolene said about just, as we're having conversation, why paint dries, that's what happens, you have conversation. But as we get going with this, we might paint the heads or the valve pan covers, the Calypso Coral it's called. We might paint that coral with the gray. Would look super nice underneath there with the black. That's basically what the car is going to be: black, Calypso Coral, and that white. Boom. Huh? What do you think, baby? What do you think? I must thank everybody for all the good comments and all the people that come on the page and are watching. We're just doing daily content, nothing special, just our daily content of what we're doing, trying to get Jolene's car done. And there's an odd thing that, you know, every once in a while, like I say, I'll jump on that 40, chop something up. We'll get our cab over home soon. You know, it's not no big rush. It's winter time here. We've got the engine here to detail yet. I've got some work to do on Elvis yet. We're trying to gather up some parts. So right now, if you want just conversation, you know, just conversation. If you want to do an LS swap, you basically, if you want to put it in where your 350 was, you're going to have to buy the aluminum mounts. This is what I'm learning, and I'll tell you as I go. There's a set of aluminum mounts that you can buy. They bolt on the 4 bolts on the LS, and then you move your mount on your 350 where it bolts on there. So these are beveled in because those go in hard, and then your mount goes over top of it. You'll have to get a set of those. We bought a plug and play wiring harness, and this is drive cable. So we've got our intake has got a cable to run the throttle. Basically, that's what we bought. We bought a new harness. I think it was $350 American. We also bought this little bad boy here. Dane thought it was a good idea. We'll just buy that and hide it somewhere to start the engine. And I'm not sure what all these other things are for, but it's a switch kit, which we bought. We got a fuel sending unit coming and a fuel regulator for pressure. So we're going to buy that. So it's not a cheap process. No, it's not. It's not a cheap process. There's a few things that you got to buy, but I think when we're done, we'll be happy. Basically, it'll be a start and drive machine that we'll have fun with. We'll be able to go anywhere that we want to go. That's what I'm thinking. And it's not cheap. You have to buy your engine. You can take the original wiring harness and knock it over and make something out of it. Yes, you can, from what I understand. It's just not what I want to do in something and not know where the wires are. I just would like to have a new wiring harness. We got that. There's a few things that he added on the wiring harness that we had to get. I think they're to plug the injectors in. There's 8 of them, so I'm saying 8 of them because it's an 8-cylinder. So this right here, this mount right here, I buy these mounts from Speedway, and they come like this. You can buy the mount. This is the mount. That's the mount. Then you buy these. Actually, these are the motor mounts. You can see them right there. I bought a couple sets of those because obviously we got a couple 350s. But anyways, them go on there like that, then bolt on there like that, and then you can see I got a set on there, and you can see that I've taken the mount, and now I can mount that right in there. So that fits right in where it's supposed to. So that's a 350 mount. So I would you could bolt that right up, take your engine picker, set it in any car you want to, chop that off, weld it into your chassis, boom, done. That's how easy it is. I like to buy those things because they're reasonable, and that's why I like to buy them, because they're reasonable. Now what I did is I cut 2 of these ears off of one, and I've mounted it in an Elvis, and I'm hoping that cross member that's in the Elvis will accept what's going on there. This is a truck pan from what I understand, and the car pan is a little bit less shy in the back, so if it goes on the ground and hits the pan, it's not going to work. Nope, not going to work, so that will end up going to a pan. This is the intake that we're putting on it. We're going to have to clean it, but this has a throttle cable come there. The other one was electronic. We didn't want the electronic in it. Didn't want that. Basically, I'll put my mask on and go try the paint. Stick with us. We're going to give away a hat, a shirt, and a piece of wood. And a piece of wood.
Close. Close. We'll just give it a couple more minutes. You can see how that seam is really nice. I think it is, compared to what it was.
the ostrich interior that Jolene has picked out. It's not real ostrich material, obviously. I'm hoping you think it's obviously. We haven't got no ostriches around here, but it really looks real, don't it? The interior, the ostrich interior looks really real. It's got look at little spots in it that looks like someone pulled the feather out. That's what it looks like. Basically, what's going to happen is, in the next, not in the next few days or sometime soon, I got to make a table for that car so I can get up underneath of it and go along that tunnel and weld everything up and get it ground off and make it look nice. That's what I got to do. That's what I got to do. And then I haven't made the seat bracket yet. The seats are made. We made the seats. We did a video on that a long time ago, made the seats. But the bracket, we need a piece of square stock underneath or a bracket underneath to hold them seats in place. And basically what's going to happen on them seats, they're going to go all the way back. And that's the end of it. So I'll get the seats all the way back far as they can go. And then I'll make a bracket and we'll bolt them in. And then I can send it off or, get maybe some interior done. I'm not sure, but I have a friend named Floyd. His last name's Hiltz. He might be interested. I'm not sure. He's retired now, but he might do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, maybe. I can make the patterns is what I'm thinking. I can make the patterns and he could cover them if he's willing and wanting to. But he's retired and he's done it all of his life, and we'll have to see if he's tired of it or he would do a little bit. I'm thinking that the interior is going to be fairly straightforward because everything's just going to be a panel. Like we'll have to make panels for the doors, obviously. I'm not sure when we made the wood. This is a whole bunch of things I'm not sure. I'm not sure when we made the wood for the windows if the wood is going to allow the interior to go underneath or if I have to make the interior go up to the wood. Not sure. All the wood's inside for the car, the dash, the instruments around the window surrounds are all in there, and that stuff looks amazing. Like that's really all going to come together when the car gets painted. All the rivets, I'm going to try to wait until all the body work is done before I put the rivets in. If it happens to chip anything or anything like that, I'm going to have to fix it. But I really want to make sure I'll try to get all the body work done and then put the rivets in because I don't want to start sanding while the rivets are in there. I had it riveted up once and it looked really nice, but I took them all out because it was too hard to do anything around them. And also it changed the shape of some of them because you're sanding them, and I didn't want to do that. Did not want to do that. But there's still so much work left to be done, but we'll just keep plugging away. We're getting the wheels painted today, so that's basically the end of it. We might even get the brakes on. When I touch that, it's not bad. I think I'm going to paint. Huh? See what? It's dry. It's not like slingy. Just don't want to get runs in the wheels. And the best way to not get runs is wait till the paint dries. You took a spray bomb, not saying I don't get runs, because I do. I get dirt, I get runs, I get boo-boos, I get all kinds of stuff. I even pulled a Fina hair out there, I think, on the one wheel, but I got it out. But basically what I'm saying is, like, if you take a spray bomb, you spray it. If you let it dry and then hit again with a spray bomb, you're generally fine, generally. And that's basically what I do with paint. Same thing. Let's put some more paint on. Going to have to mix a little bit of paint. But that's okay. That's what I do. And this whole process, the process that I got going on here, doing the body work and doing the paint, it's quite something to do it all. I mean, let's face it, the only reason I do it all is because I could never afford to take it anywhere to get somebody to do it for me. That's basically the end of the story. And now that I'm got myself doing it, why not just keep doing it, I'm going to have to mix some more paint. I think I'll mix some right now. Sure. You want to hold that, sweetheart? just to have a little bit on hand ready. That's all I want to do. Put that right there. Just going to mix a little tiny bit. Can't see in that damn thing. Good thing I got my stick. I like to use, I've said it before, I like to use the clear coat hardener with the urethane. Basically that's what urethane is, clear coat with paint in it. Get a little more paint mixed up. Now, it's going to be fairly, what can I say? It's going to be alright to paint. It's going to be hard to see where the paint's going on because it's already painted. But we'll get it.
I'll just use what I have and then I'll put some more in it. They look so nice now, don't they? Amazing. Beautiful. Beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. You are, Jolene. Absolutely gorgeous. Just don't know where to spray next. They're so shiny. Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah. Gorgeous. More paint. Putting the paint right to him, man. Beautiful. Love it. What do you think? I think it's over. I think it's over. What do you think? Do you see anything in him? Let's give it a hat and shirt away and then we'll come back and take a look. Thanks for watching, everybody. We appreciate it. We're going to give a piece of wood away out of Jolene's car. I'm going to go with 2 coats because I think that's great. Your computer's where? Up front?
we're going to go with 2 coats because we think, or I think, that it looks great, and no more paint's going to make it look any better or any worse. Do you want me to pull it out? Second. We'll take a look back in at the paint after we get a hat or shirt away. Get this opened up for Jolene. I want to thank everybody for hanging out, and I know it's a hard thing to watch paint dry, but it's car content, and that's what we do it for us car people. This is 10 layers of laminated mahogany. You can see the laminations in it. This is out of Jolene's car. It's out of her Bugatti wood. Jeff Webster did the wood. You watch it. You can watch it. It's on the very first. It's on the page of Bugatti Interior. You can see the wood being done, the veneer being done, and that's what it come from. And we want to give it away to somebody that's, participated in all the, all the goings on here. 796 comments. Appreciate it very much. Thank you very much, everybody. You know what I mean? We'll give a piece of wood away and a hat or a shirt of your choice. Lolo Garage. Lolo Garage has guessed candy, apple, red, and pearl. Well, beautiful color, I'll admit. Candy, apple, red, and pearl would have been a gorgeous color, but you can see the color that we're going with. We're going with an ivory white, and you're going to win a hat or shirt of your choice. You have to contact Jolene, and you're going to get this piece of wood that come out of her car. It's 10 pieces of laminated mahogany to make the wood in her car. That's what you're going to get, so you can say you have a piece. It'll be a piece of history after a while. It will be. We want to thank you for commenting and thank everybody else for commenting. You come back and we'll try to do the exact same thing again. Appreciate it. Stay tuned.